Bandicoot Retrospective. Press start to begin.
The year is 1999, and Crash Team Racing was just released on the PlayStation. Remember last time when I said that Naughty Dog was on fire when they were developing Crash 3, creating 3 new game engines for one game? What I didn't mention was that at the same time, they created the engine for this game as well, and have been developing Crash Team Racing since they were developing Crash 2. Naughty Dog was developing a kart racing game with blank slate characters, and both Sony and Universal agreed that this needed to be a Crash kart racer to rival that of Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing. Thus, Crash Team Racing was born. Will Crash Team Racing be a great start to Crash Bandicoot spin-off games, or will it be yet another crappy Mario Kart clone? Let's find out. The story to Crash Team Racing is pretty darn simple. An alien from the planet Gasmoxia named Nitrous Oxide comes to Earth in order to challenge its fastest racer. Oxide makes a bet with the entire planet. If they win, he'll leave them alone. But if Oxide wins, then he will turn the planet Earth into a parking lot. Oxide then flies down to Earth in order to await his challenger. The player must choose a character and win every race and beat all of the boss characters to get the keys required to challenge Oxide. Not only that, but you must collect all of Oxide's relics as well in order to challenge him for the final time and drive him away from Earth forever. Though the story for this game is simple, it does a lot of things I like. Having an outside threat like Oxide come in and threaten the entire planet does something really interesting. Every single character is technically on the same side. It's interesting to see that Crash, Cortex, Aku Aku, Uka Uka, and every other character, though they are competing against each other, all have the ultimate goal of saving the planet from Oxide. It's just a cool dynamic to see that no matter if I play as Crash or Cortex, I'm saving the world either way. That's super interesting for a spin-off game to do, and I hope to see more stories like this in the Crash series. With all of that in mind, I give Crash Team Racing's story my rating of an A+. This is going to spoil what the rating is, but I don't care. This is one of the best feeling kart racers ever made. The game feels fast, the controls are very responsive, the courses play great, the hub world is fun to explore, even if it is just a vehicle for you to go from stage to stage. No pun intended. This game just exudes fun. It's also a really great multiplayer experience as well. I've played this game for many hours on multiplayer, and no matter what year I play it in, whether it's 2004 or 2024, it's still fun. I prefer this over Mario Kart any day. The key to why the gameplay is so good is just how engaging the control style is. Of course, it's your standard kart racer. You drive and steer through each of the courses as quickly as possible, throwing and dodging items along the way. Where Crash Team Racing sets itself apart from Mario Kart is with its jump and drift mechanic. If you jump in the kart and get enough air, you are given a little boost. This keeps you on your toes, looking for any ramp you can jump off of in a stage, no matter how tiny it may seem. The drift mechanic is even better. Not only does the drift steering control really well, but if you get 3 little boosts off a single drift, there is another boost for you that gets you ahead of the other players. It rewards you for staying engaged, knowing the tracks, and being familiar with its physics. In other words, this game rewards you for knowing how to play it well. The boss fights leave a little bit to be desired. The only gimmick that they have is that you race them and they constantly throw items at you that will impede your path. This is super easy to dodge, and once you get your lead, it's usually pretty easy to keep. The only boss I had trouble with was Oxide, because look at the amount of shit he throws at you, my god. Are you the fastest or the cheapest, you stupid alien? All in all though, this is some of the most fun I've had with kart racers. Mario Kart should take notes. With all of that in mind, Crash Team Racing's gameplay gets my rating of an A+. This is one of the best looking kart racers of its time, hands down. People praise Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing on the Nintendo 64 so much, but Jesus Christ, The amount of amazing looking tracks in Crash Team Racing is bar none. You go from tropical beaches to evil laboratories to a blimp in the air to a proper racetrack. It's so cool. For a racing game released in 1999, this game looks amazing. There are no two tracks that feel the same, and this makes it so that every track in the game feels unique and has an identity of its own. I just really like the variety of tracks here. It's just plain fun. As for the music, Naughty Dog puts out another banger game with another banger soundtrack again. I do have to say I can't hum as many tracks here as I could for Crash 1, 2, and 3, but goddamn, these are amazing tracks to race to. Soundtracks, that is. Why do people watch me? It's just that simple. This game's presentation is just plain fun and it's very well done. With all of that in mind, Crash Team Racing's presentation gets my rating of an A. To complete Crash Team Racing, you must get all 16 trophies in the game. You do this by winning every race in the adventure mode, which is manageable enough. Though the races get tough towards the ends, they never feel impossible. Next, you must collect all 20 CTR tokens. In order to obtain a CTR token, you must collect all 3 letters of CTR in a track and still get first place. Oddly enough, it's easier to do this towards the end of the game rather than in the beginning. Once you get past the second batch of tracks, they stop putting the letters in clever spots and more so opt to put them in corners or on the sides of the track. Makes it easier for a completionist, but makes you think they gave up on giving tracks hidden shortcuts halfway through. Then, you must collect all 18 relics in the game. Just like in Crash 3, you obtain a relic by beating a certain time in a time attack. Technically, you need to get gold relics or higher to get the full 101%, but you don't get anything for going beyond 100%, so I opted not to do it. Lastly, you must get all 5 gems in the game. In order to unlock the ability to get all of the gems, you need an amount of CTR tokens to even give you entrance. Once you do, you must win an entire Grand Prix of predetermined races. My favorite gem cup is the last one, where you have to race all of the bosses at once. It's such a cool power trip level right before racing Oxide for the final time. When you 100% this game, not only do you get the true ending of the game, you also get an amazing slideshow of pictures of the Naughty Dog crew developing the first 4 Crash games in the series. This is an amazing and beautiful moment in the game, since this is a look back at all the good memories the crew had for the past 4 years. Especially since this would be the last Crash game developed by Naughty Dog before they would start a brand new series on the next generation of PlayStation, Jak and Daxter. Honestly, the slideshow is worth the trouble. The only negative feeling you completionists out there may feel is that the challenges make the game feel very repetitive. Crash Team Racing is one of the best kart racing games I've ever played. To this day, I think the only kart racer that comes close to how fun Crash Team Racing is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. With an amazingly clever story, amazingly fun, fast-paced and engaging gameplay, presentation that beats that of even Mario, and a completion bonus that is 100% worth the effort, Crash Team Racing is a masterclass on how kart racers should be done. With all of that in mind, Crash Team Racing gets my overall rating of an A+. What an absolute masterpiece. Thank you everybody so much for watching this video, and if you like the Crash Retrospective, please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next episode. We also have merch in the description below where you can get our shirts, mugs, and stickers to enrich your gameplay experience. I'd like to give a special shout out to Andrews Retro Games and Daniel Hawkins for being the most well-esteemed guests of them all. You could also become a channel member to get all of these videos when I'm finished editing them, as opposed to when they're scheduled to come out. Next week, we'll be looking at the next Crash game in the lineup, Crash Bash. With that, I'm Bottles, and I bid you, my well-esteemed guests, adieu.